and thank you for reminding me back to St. Ambrose Parish. The reason why we're having this presentation is there are certain moral issues that came up with regard to the COVID vaccine. A couple months ago, several bishops said they were not going to take the vaccine because the vaccine came from tissue from aborted fetuses. And for that reason, they told their people not to take the vaccine. Because of the controversy, the Vatican came out and wrote a statement clarifying the moral issue, and that's what we're talking about. The Vatican statement was published in the middle of December 2020. It was written by what we call the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. It was signed off by Pope Francis. When a document comes out of the Vatican, written by that congregation, signed off by the Pope, you can be absolutely certain you're getting authentic Catholic Church teaching. There are many opinions flying around out there, but the opinion of the Church, the official of the opinion of the Church, is in that document, published in 220. In that document, they raised 5 specific issues. I want to talk about each one of those 5. There are 5 words in there. It's only short, about a page and a half long. And I want to pull those 5 words out of that document, which were written in italics, and I'll talk about each one of the 5. Here are the 5. Number 1, our participation is passive as opposed to active, remote as opposed to formal, material as opposed to formal. We're doing this reluctantly under stress of necessity. Those are the 5 words. I want to work on each one of those words separately. The first word is passive as opposed to active. I got my shot 10 days ago, second shot. I passively received the vaccine. I am not actively involved in performing an abortion. I am not actively involved in doing the research that led to the vaccine. I'm not participating in an immoral act. I am passively receiving something. So my participation is passive, not active. The second point is it is remote as opposed to proximate. Proximate means just recently or nearby. Remote means a long time ago and morally distant. In the document, they say the fetuses that were aborted in the last century, 25 years ago. Tissue was taken from those aborted fetuses, and the cells taken from that tissue were used in the experimental studies that led to the production of the vaccine. So that's what you mean by the word remote as opposed to proximate. Now, the word material is real difficult. Material as opposed to formal. What the word formal means is this. If a doctor performs an abortion, he or she is intending to kill a fetus, to produce a dead fetus. So his intentionality is, I want to produce a dead fetus. That's called formal involvement. Material involvement is not like that. Let's say, for example, we had many examples like this. A nurse worked at a hospital. Her job was to prepare the operating room, lay out the instruments, the gowns, and so on. And let's say she got there and prepared the operating room, and she saw a chart that said, there's going to be an abortion this morning at 10 o'clock. And they would ask, can I do that? Can I prepare the operating room? The answer is yes, you can. All you're doing is your job, which is prepare the operating room, lay out the instruments. You're not going to perform the abortion. You're not going to assist in the abortion. You are not formally involved. Your cooperation is called material cooperation, meaning you're not part of an immoral procedure. So our involvement in this is material as opposed to formal. Our involvement on this is reluctant. Reluctant means I wish we didn't have to do this. I wish we didn't have a pandemic. I wish we didn't have to have a vaccine. I wish the vaccine didn't have to involve that aborted fetus. But reluctantly, we're in this. Why? Under stress. What's the stress? The stress is the consequence of not doing this are unacceptable. We can't have another year like 2020. We can't have people sick and die. We can't have people losing their jobs. We can't have another 2020. So we need this vaccine to give us enough immunity that we can live our normal lives. That's the necessity. That's the stress. So that's what they mean when they say we're doing this reluctantly under the pressure of stress. Those are the 5 key words in the document. And there's a sentence, it's in italics, it says, it is morally acceptable to take the COVID vaccine. And that's what the document basically says. So that's authentic teaching. We could be assured of that teaching. Now, one more point very quickly. If there's a medical reason why you should not take the vaccine, you want to consult your physician, because there are some people that have conditions that make it impossible to take the vaccine. That's another issue. The only thing we're talking about in this particular presentation is what are the moral issues, and the Vatican is telling us there is no moral objection to taking this vaccine, and we should do that. We should do that because we're part of a community, and we owe something back to the community. And by taking the vaccine and using our mask and distancing, we are helping to create health in the community, and that's our obligation as Christians to do that. So I hope this was helpful to all of you. I always enjoy being with you. I hope you have a spiritual rich Lent and a happy Easter. And thank you again for inviting me to speak to you. Thank you.